Okay, we are back with the next matchup of the MGSR VE League Week 5 with both of our co-hosts on the stage now with ApacheSmash and dlimes13, and it looks like we have the
Apparently,
game feeds from the last matchup. I was about to say, man, I know these guys are fast, but not that fast.
I
They must
thought
have
they
been
were trying to
racing
pull
as
a
we were
joke
waiting.
on us. I thought they were trying to pull a joke on us where like they just load up a save with Solidus and go to score screen.
Yeah, so I guess Apache's already claiming an early victory. You know, man,
Yep.
it's man. Okay, yeah, There's nothing to commentate there. No. Yeah, so we're gonna get our tech guys to probably kick the game feeds to get them on the current runs. One with a 105 on one planet. I mean, with this category, platonic. I mean, anything could happen. I
We
mean,
saw in
jokes
the
aside.
last race where Tino got like 2 or 3 continuous holds and ended up back.
Yeah, man, I was feeling it for him in hold two of the tanker. I mean, the holds, I'm sure you
Yep.
know, are a place where you don't want to get caught, especially multiple times. But I mean, I mean, surprisingly, he was able to pull it together. I mean, it definitely happens to some people where you can get frazzled from stuff like that, where you get a really late start. But no, he definitely pulled it in and dug deep, and made it a good race. So it looks like we got both of the game feeds up now for current runs. So no jokes on us this time. But shout outs to Roy and possibly Chusa if he's in on this too for with the tech support. Definitely shout outs to those guys. So let me just confirm both of these guys are ready.
I mean, shout
And
out to
I
them in
will,
general. This wouldn't
yes.
be possible without them. They just handle all the tech stuff in the background.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where we would be without our tech overlords, Roy and Chusa, but shout outs to those guys. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Yeah. Best of luck to both players.
Let's see, and away they go. All right, Platonic. I mean, we've actually raced all four of us together at
All right.
no, I think it was a five-way exhibition race.
I think yeah, it
So
was 4 of us plus BMS, if I
yeah, because
remember
like this
correctly.
kind of takes me back commentating this race with the two of us, and then watching D-Limes and Apache race. But um, going in, I mean, it's racing Apache last week. He's definitely a fierce competitor. He definitely can get up there with the high tier times. It certainly wasn't an easy race, but then D-Limes, now currently tied for world record with Platonic guy here. I mean, he's definitely favored, but like we saw in that last race, anything could happen.
Yeah, and especially previous race was Mac versus Nino, and this race it's Apache versus uh, D-Limes. They were the first 4 players for V, as far as I remember. I remember joining MGSR 2 years ago, and the time was like a 104 or a 105, something like this. It was always exchanging between, like these 4 players were up there just with V and optimizing it as much as possible. So yeah, it's a special day just to have all 4 players race each other on one day.
Okay, so up first is Olga. D-Lime's getting a left side spawn, while Apache getting a right side spawn. So I think he's going to have a slight advantage going in. I think he's like one shot ahead of D-Limes.
D-Limes has a 5-shot Olga as well. Yep.
Oh, that's right. I think, yeah, and one of the shots did not land in the head, so he's going to have to opt for a 5th shot. So, slight advantage to Apache. Definitely not the worst outcome for D-Limes. I mean, it can happen. Because, again, with this category, even with a slight lead like this, it's not really anybody's out. I mean, it's more like, we're just getting started, but it'll be interesting to see how this goes. And both look like they attempt to go for the Dav drop, which is referencing a animation skip named after the person that founded David Wildstar, where if you unequip your weapon after the Olga fight and as you drop down the ledge and spam square, there's a chance you can actually skip the animation drop, and I think it saves you like half a second. Um, but I mean,
Tell us about how
oh, I'm sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. What was interesting is earlier this year, me and Limes were working on moving all the old VR runs onto the board because there's many old runners who just aren't on the board and they have really good times. We found this one guy called Terminator TDM, and he also has a different channel called Dave Wildstein. Um, that's where the name comes from. We noticed in one of the levels he did that animation cancel, and it's almost impossible, practically impossible to beat that time without that animation cancel. Me and Limes probably spent like weeks, maybe a month as well, trying to figure out how to do it. Until eventually, like me and him and Apache and I think GT as well, just messaged him on YouTube, and he eventually responded and told us how to do it. Turns out it's also useful for the run as well after Olga.
Yeah, I mean, it's always amazing like what people find over time, especially if if they're actively known for speedrunning in the community or if they just run it on their own and just one of those weird quirks that somebody tends to pick up. But like you said, it is useful. Uh, especially in this run, given the condition, you don't really lose out on anything going for it because you have to drop down anyway, and you only
Yeah,
stand to gain time.
I
So
see
now
it
they're
as a bonus time save.
Oh, absolutely. So both now making their way through the holds, or I'm sorry, getting their way to the holds with Guard Rush as the next hurdle. Both handled the engine room slightly different, if I saw correctly, and D-Limes with the alert! Oh no!
He
Oh,
might
he's
get
got to be
shot again.
careful. Oh, he's
Might
got to
get
be
shot
careful
again.
not to get shot opening the hatch.
Oh, we got
Okay,
lucky.
he just got it. That was scary. You got to be very careful when you turn the corner in the guard because if the alert goes off, you can get shot in the back before you get the 3 turns to open the hatch. But as he makes his way into guard rush, Apache's starting with his.
Nice
Looks
guard rush.
Yeah, looks fairly clean. Looks like he got the guard in the back, and then 1, 2, 3 for the finish. So not bad.
Both players had a
And
really good guard
D-Lime's
rush
right
as
behind
well.
him. So, yeah, little slight kerfuffle with the turn, but once again, I mean, they're at each other's heels. So, I'm sure this is a favorite of yours, Platonic, hold 1.
Best glitch in the game, ladder glitch. uh, for anyone who doesn't know, ladder glitch is basically a glitch we do where we equip the camera while simultaneously trying to climb the ladder. The game has no idea what to do with that. There's no animation for Snake climbing the ladder and having the camera equipped simultaneously. So it just freaks out, and luckily enough, people have figured out how to manipulate um, so that we can get to the ground as fast as possible. It saves roughly 10-11 seconds compared to just dropping down from the first for the first ladder and then climbing down the second.
Yeah, because it's definitely like the dav drop, although it's more of a minor optimization. The ladder glitch is definitely what looks like it's intimidating and complicated. It's more of a like essential. Uh, you know, there might be exceptions where, let's say, for higher difficulty runs, some people may opt out of it. A dozen seconds, give or take, may not be a big deal, but as optimized as VE is, the ladder glitch, it's just one of those things where it's like a must-have.
Yeah.
But yeah, so both are through the tanker. They got their pictures, and one thing to note is that dlimes took hold 1 safe after he got off the ladder. He
Yeah, I
did
did.
not go for the flick shot, which
I
is
think he took the entire hold safe. I think hold 2 he might have just done the hold up strats. Don't
yeah, they
remember.
both did.
Yeah, and then in hold 3 he even went for 3 which he's made fun of me in the past for doing. That's surprising to see him do it instead of the faster 2-spot setup.
I mean, if I recall right, I think there may have been a match in this league where maybe a flick shot was missed. Uh, And I don't know, maybe that had something to do with it, or maybe the holds going into guard rush may have changed some things. It's like, okay, I messed up going into guard rush. I'm not gonna take any chances in the holds. But yeah, it's kind of unlike him to go around the guard, but it's still anybody's game right now. I think right now, just kind of eyeballing it. I know D-Limes tends to time these things on gauging a lead. But it looks like maybe like I don't know, like 8-ish seconds, which is not really a whole lot to work with, especially in this category. I mean, there's a lot of things that could still happen.
I mean,
So
8 seconds is roughly what that Olgo is equivalent to. Because Limes got left and cheat and loop, if I remember correctly. Apache got a right side Olgo.
Yeah, D-Limes got the left, and then Apache had the right. So what you'll notice here is D-Limes is picking up the N9 along with 2 ammo boxes before going up the elevator. It's actually a thing that was found during a, or I don't know if it was found, but it was revealed during an exhibition race with myself, Platonic, Apache, D-Limes, and GoGo BMN, where BMN actually went back to the docks, picked up the M9, and we're all just looking at him like, dude, what are you doing? Like, we thought he was just like memeing, just like killing time. And as it turns out, you actually do have time to pick up the N9, make your way back. The elevator shows up right as you come back. And it's a good preemptive setup for like a potential non-lethal Fat Man, since you have all the extra ammo in your tool belt.
I have a feeling it might be useful for dog tags as well. That might be why BMN tested it out. We know him as the dog tag person.
I mean, I just never know like what goes on in the head of his. You know, it's like he's always got like some, because like he does find interesting things. When it comes to speed running, or if he finds a new way to optimize, something like the auto splitter that he's made for this game, variables that can help give us information. And I think he's even made an auto splitter for MGS1 PC. So he's definitely the creative character. I'll actually be racing them after this race, coming up in a little while. So far, I mean, not really a whole lot, just making the way to Strut C to meet up with Stillman. You may have noticed that, I think they both did it, but they unequipped the M9 before entering Strut B.
Yeah, before the Pliskin cutscene. Basically what happens is, before you go into the Pliskin, because you have M9 on your previous, what the game's gonna do is equip the M9 for you in your hand, but simultaneously it also thinks that you have the M9 on your previous, which should not happen. So after the Pliskin cut, if you tap R2, it autocorrects. But if you don't do that, go all the way to the Stillman cutscene, what happens is it removes the M9 from your hand, but it still remembers that the M9 previous. And we go through all of that just to save 0.23 seconds, which is what both players did here.
Yeah, and similarly in the tanker, when you actually, before you go up to the terminal to upload the pictures, you actually end with the USP on equip, with your M9 on your secondary for previous, for the same reasons as when you enter the plant, so that when you do acquire the M9, it saves you, a fraction of a second or so for menuing. Because again, for some it may not seem like a big deal, but for VE, every little bit of time save you get, even if it's in the milliseconds, makes a huge difference over the course of the run.
I like that strat. What D-Lines just did, hang down earlier than usual, that guard just runs away from you. Maybe if you're fast enough, this guy won't shoot you. Ooh, he tried to kick him. Alright, so he didn't lose any time there. Because he didn't get kicked
I'm just
or
so
didn't get
scared
shot.
that they're chasing him. Oh god, they both made it out. I mean, I'm always fearful of, like you say, when a guard tries to punch or kick you, or if you get shot in the back. I mean, because between the lesser two evils, getting shot isn't the end of the world. You'll lose probably like half a second, but if you get kicked or punched over, that's easily like 3 to 3.5 seconds you're losing. But they're almost synced right now, this is amazing.
I think Limes is caught up.
Oh yeah, you're right. I mean, even on my restream, it looks like he's just slightly ahead right now, and they're neck and neck.
I think it was just small frame across every room. Start of plant now that made him catch up.
Yeah, I mean, it's, that's why I keep saying to people, like, even if it's on a difficulty like this, you never really count anything or anybody out, because it's these little time saves you could pick up, like, a better turn here, better cartwheel there, or even like you said, the way he held up the guard, or not held up, but what the hanging mode that he did to make the guard run away. I mean, it's definitely interesting because like it was for a moment Apache with a slight advantage going into plant, and now it's D-Lime starting to pull away with probably like a few seconds, which still anybody's game right now. Oh, my favorite, the EF connecting bridge. I don't know,
I
for those that
imagine
know me,
Limes is gonna do pickup strats here.
knowing him, I think he would.
Oh, he went for it.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, he's gonna go around now. That's a shame. I knew he was gonna try to go for it, but what he was trying to do was pick up a mine that you normally pick up late. But if you pick it up at the beginning, it saves you time on the back end when you come back. But yeah, that is still anybody's game right now. I mean, this is definitely exciting. I don't know about you.
Yeah, they're practically in sync right now. Maybe just 1 second off. That could just be due to stream delay. They're practically.
Yeah, because for those watching, we always go to IGT, the in-game time score clock at the end of the game after the credits, because like Platonic says, for some connections there may be slight delay, stuff like that. But it's still really anybody's lead. I mean, right now, D-Lime's still having slight advantage, a few seconds. But really, it just comes down to stuff like, missing a coolant rise, a bad cartwheel. I mean, just, any little thing that could happen. Let's see, I think... Okay, I almost thought Apache was out of position for that.
Yeah,
Quick
he has a
wave there.
very weird setup. As soon as he goes like north, then turns around. Basically, what you want to do for that, the game wants you to go underneath the red pipe. The red pipe's supposed to be like a clue how to get that bomb. But someone figured out a while ago, a long time, that you can actually just defuse the bomb from behind. And that probably saves us maybe like 10 seconds. Just imagine how slow it is just to go underneath that red pipe.
Yeah, because like there's a very specific spot you want to stand in, which is basically hugging the right pipe that you crawl under before the red pipe, like Platonic mentioned, and then you want to stay just slightly far enough from the front white line, and it gives you just like a thin window to actually spray through and disarm the bomb from the opposite end. It's pretty amazing. Again, what people find over the years, and it's yeah. So I mean, right now it's still just kind of gauge it. It's maybe D-Limes by like 3-4 seconds. Still nothing to scoff at. I mean, it's still anybody's game. What's gonna definitely add as a variance coming up, I think, is gonna be not only just movement to the elevator going back to the docks, fortune fight for sure. Even though there's ways to optimize the fight, there's still like a degree of variance that can happen to either runner. But what you'll notice now is that as they're disarming the last bomb, they're actually acquiring the Sensor B second, and this was found during a VE tournament that we held, I think sometime in the summer. It was shown by King of the Bees during one of those races where he actually went for the Sensor B second rather than getting it first and then disarming the bomb and leave. And as it turns out, by doing that, you're actually saving... Platonic, you might help me on this, but I think it's like 0.7 seconds of like fixed cutscene idle time for like a codec.
I think it can add up to 1 second if you do the fancy cartwheel to pick up sensor beam. It's one of those where like originally when people started running the different categories, because when people first started running Metal Gear, it was always European big boss strats. When people started running the other categories, they just adopted European extreme strats until eventually, slowly and slowly, people figured out there's better ways to do these rooms other than just copying your extreme. And I think this might have been the final room where a European extreme strat just went away. Because on that difficulty, what we'd usually do is we would pick up sensor B, then defuse bomb. But on VE, because we're doing clockwise, we actually just defuse the bomb first, and then sorry, we defuse the bomb first, then we pick up sensor beam, and it's about 0.7, like you said, add up to 1 second. You do the fancy cartwheel.
Yeah, because to no surprise, I mean, it's very easy to adapt strats from other difficulties, and it is interesting, like how sometimes someone might look at something that looks routine and actually challenge and even test something. Like, what if I picked up the sensor second? Because logic would tell you that starting your final timer to the bomb from further away seems like you're losing time, but in actuality, what you would get is a moment where you would actually leave strut C, and you would kind of like sit idle as a codec is forced to load in. And so it's definitely interesting, what little things people find. So here we got the fortune fight, where they're going to both do a specific setup on where to place Raiden in the room, which is punch buffering 3 times across the room to the right, stay put, and what this does is it minimizes dialogue and gets Fortune to destroy the forklift, which, believe it or not, is required for this fight to end. I mean, I don't know what the forklift did to anybody, but I mean, it's part of the casualty of the run. While at the same time, they're setting up Fortune to destroy both of these golden barrels that are on the left and right sides of the room, which is where the variance tends to kick in. Fortune, if you're lucky, she'll aim at the barrel right away, destroys it. Other times, she'll just miss it barely and hit you, just like what happened to Apache.
She refused to shoot the left barrel for both players there. She was just like standing still and shot everything else at the barrel.
Man, Fortune could really be a troll in this fight. I don't know what it is with her, but the whole idea with getting her to destroy the forklift early, as well as the 2 golden barrels, which only can be destroyed by her, because for whatever reason, they're the world's strongest barrels known to man, and you can't do anything to blow them up. And I think, Platonic, you tested this on a dev save if there was a way to destroy them, and I think if I remember right, there isn't.
Yeah, I kind of cheated like stingers, RGB6s, weapons like you should not have access to at this point in the game, and nothing happens. It's basically just part of the environment, I guess. You cannot destroy those things yourself.
Yeah, so it's all we're doing there with that fight is just kind of minimizing the script, which is like Platonic said. The golden barrels are part of the environment, as is the forklift. They all must be destroyed, and then she'll aim at the ceiling, and then it's just the variance of whether she'll cooperate. But I think it was stopped for the longest time. Oh, it's just an auto scroller fight. You're not meant to fight her. You can't really shoot at her. You're just meant to survive and outlast the timer. But like Platonic has mentioned on other things. Oh, really nice mind pickup on Apache's end.
Yeah, it's basically just an auto-scroller in D. It's an auto-scroller in the sense that if you literally do nothing, the fight will end. But in the speedrun sense, it's just going to end really slow if you don't do anything.
Yeah, so both making the way over to the next hurdle this run is the Fat Man fight. Now, I believe Apache... Actually, no, I'm sorry. I think dlimes was the one who got the M9, so I'm wondering if he's going to go for non-lethal. While Apache may go for the traditional SOCOM. Oh, he's not going non-lethal. Interesting.
Going for like the new lethal setup, and you got a perfect 44 on the timer. That's as perfect as you can get for lethal Fat Man.
Yeah, why don't you explain like what the new lethal Fat Man is like over what we're seeing on like Apache screen for a traditional Fat Man?
So yeah, Apache just got a 39 just because of the RNG of where Fat Man ends up afterwards. On lethal Fat Man, what we do is we defuse the right bomb first, then deal with Fat, then defuse the final bomb. But the new setup that I was working on and Limes has adopted is we knock him down first, put 1 headshot into him, and then while we're waiting for the second headshot, we defuse the other bomb. And the way it works out is because of that setup, Fat Man is like at the bottom of the north end of the map, and that makes it more likely for him to go south after for phase 2. and that's the ideal setup for Lethal Fat Man. It just minimizes the chance of getting bad RNG for Lethal Fat Man. It's not necessarily faster.
Yeah, because more so than just execution, you would say it's just really it's what Fat Man does. You know, if he
Yep.
moves down and closer to the last bomb, great. If he moves down and away, not the end of the world. I kind of view it as like as the middle of the road. But if he goes left and around, which I just tend to get more so in practice for whatever reason, it's the worst kind of RNG because it puts you really far away from the bomb, and actually, Fat Man will just kind of like zig and zag away out of sight, hard to kind of intercept them. So, fun fact about VE: when going to the Shell 1 core exclusively on VE, you know, if you ever had that moment, it's like, man, I'm reporting for guard duty. I left my AK at home. Don't worry, we got you covered because somebody left their spare AK in the storage room. Don't have to make your
Yeah.
way over to Strut F.
I still remember when this was found out. It saved like 30 seconds off world record. Oh, Apache.
No, what's he doing? Oh, oh no, just oh, you hate to see that.
Yeah, getting
So,
an alert there is kind of tough because the elevator won't open until it's either an evasion or a caution, depending on which elevator it is in the game. I think that one needs to be a caution for it to open.
I think
So
on
yeah,
evasion you can call it, but if it's on an alert, it's locked.
yeah,
If I remember
think
right. But as dlimes is making his way, I'll kind of explain what was going on his screen as Apache is making his way up to the D mic. It's a recent strat, I believe it was found by Platonic with the Claymore,
yeah,
where you pick up the Claymore that was on the EF bridge going to Fat Man. Using that same mine, you detonate it with the AK as you come to the B2 floor, which will lure guards up to the stairs, while at the same time, it keeps the elevator door open for a period of time and giving you a better pathing to get the D mic pretty much unopposed. And I think the idea, if I remember this right too, with the timing, is that doing it standard is slower, but if you get the fast elevator doing standard, it's not too bad. But if you do the mine strat, it's actually better by a few seconds, given even if you got, let's say, like a normal or normal or fast elevator anyway.
yeah.
Something like that.
Lime's got pretty much perfect aims, like near god aims, and
Apache got
got
Southwest.
Yeah, that's not gonna help him at all. That's just pure RNG. For anyone who doesn't know, there's 3 ways to play this game: New Game Plus, or New Game Plus Plus. We never play on New Game because there's an unskippable cutscene planned, which means we play on either New Game Plus or New Game Plus Plus. The bad thing about that is that it randomizes Ames' location. It could
Oh,
be either in
D-Limes
the
missed the stairs. Oh, I'm
Yep.
sorry for cutting you off. Yeah, keep going.
It
Yeah, there's
randomizes
actually
Ames' position, so it could be either in the worst possible position, which means you lose time compared to the default, or it could be a good thing where you get the best possible position, where you actually save time. And what Limes got was pretty much close to perfect position, but what Apache got was actually slightly worse than default. And that's just pure RNG. Nothing you can do to manipulate that.
Let's see. I wonder if Apache's gonna go for it. Oh, he didn't get it either. Oh, man. There's actually a thing with these steps, and the EF connecting bridge, as well as the steps going up to the helipad of Strut E, where if you cartwheel at the right spot at the right time, you can actually cartwheel up and over the steps with just enough spacing to not topple over. I mean, I on and off try to go for it myself, but you know, these steps can definitely get you when you least expect it. Um, oh, oh, jeez, God, that kick always scares me when people go for that going to the strut T.
Yeah,
Oh man, God bless those.
it's a new alert strat I was working on maybe last week or something. Just take an alert as soon as you enter, not as soon as you enter the room, but pretty much shortly after. And as soon as you get to the door, the guard just opens the door for you. To it, it's a frame saver at best. It's not really that big of a deal, but if you collect a bunch of these frame savers over the course of the run, that can add up to 5, 15, who knows.
Man, why are you guys gotta come up with these like dangerous strats for God's sakes? I mean, like I'm looking at this, I'm like, man, this is what it comes down to. I'm just kidding. I mean, there's actually really cool stuff that's been brought up.
Low damage.
Oh, okay. So D-Limes went for the 5+1 Harrier. Unfortunately, did not get the high damage on the 5th shot. So given if he makes these 2 connecting die shots, which is carefully skipping the cutscene and firing the stinger soon after, he's going to be short by 1 hit. And this is going to be costly for him by about, I think it's like 12 to 13 seconds.
Yeah, 12 to 13.
And this is going to give Apache a chance to make up some time if he also goes for the same 5+1 setup. So here we go. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and no! It was too high. Oh, dude, I don't know if that +1's gonna hit either. Oh, it did. Oh no, this is, man, that is unfortunate. This was
If he gets the flyover shots, he would have lost 2 or 3 seconds compared to what Limes had just now. That is not what he needed, though. I think what happened was, I'll just wait for the carrier to finish first. Yeah, I think he needs flyover. No, I think he ended it at the same point as Limes did, so they probably had identical Harrier.
Yeah, because I think they were both about like a hit or 2 short. I mean, maybe slight advantage to D-Lime, since it's both on the same phase of the fight where, you know, the Harrier turns around for a missile lock.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like, oh, the stairs. Oh, these cursed stairs.
I think both of them are like going for these risky cartwheels, and they're hardly making it. It's just not their day for these.
Yeah, because I think I definitely know, like, at least D-Limes is probably keeping an eye on what Apache's up to, and possibly Apache's doing the same. But yeah, so I guess coming up is going to be Shell 2, where we'll see, you know, again, you know, it's not really anybody's out yet, but, you know, right now it is still a fair advantage to D-Limes. Probably by at least, I don't know, I mean, I'm not even going to try to guess it, but probably like a good, like, you know, strut and a half, give or take. I mean, it's going to have to take, let's say, I don't know. I mean, it's
a failed Vamp 1.
Yeah, like either a missed Vamp 1, a swim glitch attempt, which, you know, like takes too long, a missed Nikita, which, believe it or not, when people go to swim to pick up the Nikita, there is a chance to miss it. You know, I've been on both sides of that outcome, and trust me, it's fun to be on one, but not the other. All right, so both making it over the bridge. But interesting enough, I believe Apache picked up the chaffs, while D-Limes did not, which is part of another new strat of going chaffless. Over time, I believe you save time from just the faster menuing, since the chaffs are not in your inventory. You can also deal with the...
Chaffless is slightly slower, but it's very compared to chaff. Because chaff, like, you have to pick up the chaffs on strut A roof next to those claymores. So if you get hit by those claymores, you end up losing time compared to chaffless. But if you don't get hit by those claymores, then you save a second, maybe. It's not. It's really close that you can just practically ignore it. Do whichever one you feel is easier for you. That's why you see.
I didn't really realize that, but you know, I do find it appealing either way, because you know, chaffless definitely has its spot. While if you do want just like the peace of mind, you know, like getting the chaff on the rooftop doesn't really hurt anything either. All right, so nice Nikita pathing by D-Limes. Apache's going to be making his way back up to the first floor to take out the circuit box.
I'm curious if Limes go for swing glitch. I imagine he won't. He almost never goes for swing glitch. He's ahead by a decent margin. I don't think Apache will go for it. I've almost never seen him do it.
I don't know. I mean, like, if there was a time to do it, this would be it.
Yeah.
But then again, it goes back to like what's a a comfort level for the runner. Some people like know how to go for it, but just choose not to. Um, People like me just go for it almost like no matter what. Especially in the case if you are behind like this, but I've been wrong before on trying to call like who goes and who doesn't go for swim glitch. I mean, we've had moments where both runner goes for swim glitches, which was seen in the last race with Mac McD and Tino. So let's see. D-Lime's making his way back through B1.
I think at worst he'll attempt it once, and if he doesn't get it, then he'll just continue on. Oh, he's going for it. He's going for it.
Oh, dude, he's going for it. Wow.
This
All
is
right.
so unlike him, but okay, this could be a 2-tag.
Okay, so that's one cycle. It's gonna go for 2.
I think he can make it up.
And
Yeah,
almost. So
that's
that's like
2
a
cycles.
2.5.
Yeah,
So not too bad. Ideally, a 1 cycle is what you want, because swim glitching like this will get you to Vamp's room faster. While at the same time, you'll actually lose time on the back end of this since there's a hatch that is still closed. But if you do get the swim glitch relatively quick, I think you save like net positive. I'm trying to remember like what Tyler mentioned. I think it was like 12 to 16 seconds, and that's including like having to open the door.
yeah.
So it's like so I think it's like you save 18, but you lose about 6 seconds for having to open the door on the way back with Emma.
I think
And
maybe
Apache
I think
is opting out of it, so that's almost about what we both expected. I mean, I was almost thinking maybe Apache would surprise us, but he may just be thinking, you know what, I'm just gonna, play to my strengths and just kind of swim normally. While D-Lime's thinking, you know what, if I'm gonna shake things up, this would be it. And sure enough, he did. And oh, the extra cartwheel! What are you doing?
cartwheel into the locker.
I don't know if he was like memeing or if it was just like by accident, but um, either way,
I've messed up that locker before. Like I go, I don't know. Instead of pressing triangle, I'll press every other button and like punch the locker. I'll crouch. I've done that before.
funny enough, I probably done the same thing at one point or another. And it's just, we're so used to just spamming certain buttons, mostly X. And sure enough, maybe just going in, that's just, force a habit. All right, good vamp by Apache as well. It's very easy to mess up that fight with the Stinger. If you spam too fast, you'll actually shoot into Vamp's iframe, which will then go underwater. Although, depending on when he does, there is a chance to actually still recover from it, getting a faster cutscene ending versus the slow as molasses cutscene ending that we get here. But yeah, so now we're just going on to the, bringing Emma back into sniping, and the heartbeats kind of go down a little bit. Swim glitch is over. Kind of not really let your guard down exactly, but this is kind of where things kind of die down a little bit. You kind of relax, swim your way back, and then sniping. It's kind of like, the one part of the run where you can kind of relax, reflect, try to, strategize. But I guess while they're both making their way over to Strut L, I guess we can maybe do a few mentions, maybe right before, let's say, they do like the Emma bump. But for those watching, this is the VE League. We hold these matches on stream here every week. Given there will be a bye week or so, just working around the holidays. But there will be at least 2 to 3 races here on the Metal Gear Speedrunner Twitch channel. So be sure to follow this channel if you haven't already. We also have an event coming up next month, which is going to be celebrating this channel going affiliate, which is really remarkable because, there's definitely been a lot of work put into this channel recently with the creation of the stream team, holding this VE League, as well as other things that we do here. But next month will be this channel going affiliate, where we'll be holding a marathon/relay, where 2 of the 3 days will be marathons, where people can submit whatever run they like, just part of the celebration, while the Saturday portion of that celebration will be specific towards Metal Gear games, where it'll be a relay race, which are events that we hold several times throughout the year, usually once every quarter, I think is how it goes. So be sure to sign up for either one if it interests you. And also, just because I feel like Apache's going to be, rewatching this VOD later, but be sure to follow @ApacheSmash on Twitter. I mean, the guy is just amazing. Just do it. Yeah, I think that should make our higher ups happy. As Papa Plywood would say, get that promotion. Let's see. Oh, I think D-Limes did the Emma bump already, so maybe I just, mistimed it. But either way, be sure to follow the channel. Got a marathon coming up next month. It's going to be great. But then I think Apache will do the same thing, but there's actually a thing you can do with Emma when you leave the Shell 1, or I'm sorry, Shell 2 core. Instead of walking out with her, you kind of push her through the door, which we call the Emma bump. And on PC, it has a, don't want to say like a very like near impossible chance of soft locking the game if she falls through, where you don't push her through in the right spot. But all you're doing is just saving walking time, going out with her normally, and she'll actually teleport in the hallway slightly ahead of you, while Raiden will actually move at normal speed, just like what you saw on Apache's screen there. So nicely done on both of them. And even though I'm sure D-Limes is going to be rewatching this VOD, and I'm sure he would say, do not do the Emma bump on HD collection, but I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm going to do it anyway, damn it. It's time save. Even though I've soft locked before, I'm still going to do it.
I've soft locked before. I've done it in a marathon versus Plywood as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was ahead. I still did it. I think I was quite ahead in the marathon as well. I almost... No, what's the marathon? It was the relay. So if I soft locked, I could have cost the entire loss there.
Oh wait, is this the same one where like both Tengu 2s
Yeah, that was the one.
controlling you guys? Like Snake kept dying? Oh my god, I remember that. Dude, that was insane. It was like, oh. I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but it's, this is why, like I personally enjoy speed runs. It's just not only just watching, people run what they love, but just like some of the things that can happen even from like other events, and just, it really makes me, proud to be just, commentating this. And, so now we're coming up to the sniping section of the run. So there's going to be some riffing involved. Just on, just giving like a glimpse as to like what both of these guys will be doing. They'll just be clearing out ciphers, some guards. The beauty of running this on very easy is that you do not have to worry about shaky aim, meaning you don't need to use any of the potassium drugs, where it'll steady your aim regardless of what stance you're in with the sniper rifle. There will also be no claymore mines on any of the bridges to clear out, which vary by difficulty. So on VE, you get a whopping 0. While at the same time, there's not as many guards, which also vary by difficulty. And once you get Emma, at least over the first bridge, there's at least a little bit of a lull where there's not really, any guards or ciphers to deal with. But there's actually one thing to look out for, and I was wondering, Platonic, if you could talk about, like, why do we not scope on Emma when she's on the first bridge?
Yeah, and it's not just scoping. The developers put something in this game. They were just cheeky. Emma has the potential to fall down. Now, it's not something that's like run killing or anything. She'll just trip, and then she has to stand up before she can start moving again. But in a speedrun sense, because Emma stops moving, it means every time she falls down, you're gonna finish the segment 7 seconds slower than what you expect. Because this segment, as long as Emma is consistently moving, is an auto scroll. Unlike the Fortune one, where there's like things. This is purely an auto scroll, but there are lots of ways to time, and that all involve Emma not moving. You mentioned zooming in on Emma. If you just zoom in with the PSG1, you hold circle, that can cause Emma to fall. If you aim in her general direction, that can make her fall. if she gets spotted by a Cypher or a guard, she's gonna stop moving. All that can easily cause time. Luckily, we actually have a spot that like guarantees that 99.9% of the time she won't fall. You can see the limes where he's standing right now, roughly close to the ladder. When you start this level, that's when you start this segment. That's where the thermal goggles is located. So if you just stand on wherever the thermal goggles is located, and never zoom in using the sniper, there's like a 99.9% chance that Emma won't fall down unless you're messing around with Emma. It won't happen.
Yeah, I think it even has something to do with like I think you mentioned this too, is like where you're standing on the platform. Because sometimes on European Extreme runs I've done in the past where I go to pick up PSUNT ammo, and if I'm like on that spot where the ammo box is on that spawn, and I happen to like look at her or maybe look away, I think it was for some reason that does it. As far as the scoping, I just like to think every time she trips over, maybe she realizes we're scoping in on her and she gets stage fright and just trips. Honestly, it's kind of dumb, but going back to this category, I mean, having her trip over is, I think it's like what, 6 seconds time loss?
Yeah, 6 or
Something
7,
like that.
approximately.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something you want to have happen, but at least what's nice about this is like on VE, you don't have to like rotate to pick up means for dealing with shaky aim. You just kind of stay put for pretty much the entire time. You don't have to really move anywhere, which is nice.
I think
Looks like.
Lions is about to use Turbo in Vamp too.
Oh, you think so?
I think I just saw him use it on just like some random cipher.
Yeah, I almost thought like maybe he was just memeing with like how fast
Yep.
he can spam, but he might be doing it.
Oh,
Let's
you
see.
didn't get a good one though.
Oh, he did go for it. All right, well, I'll give him props for trying. I mean, going for the no zoom on Vamp 2. Oh, excuse me. Going for the no zoom on Vamp 2 is definitely tough. There's different ways of going about it. Some can just do like a slight input to the left, either by D-pad or some with like the arrow on the keyboard. I just don't have one of those magic keyboards that just gives me the right adjustment. But ideally, you just want to end that segment as fast as possible. Going for a headshot, I think, is a one-shot kill, but more so for memes. I think you would say just not really worth it.
Patch just tries T on the wall, this sniper.
Yeah, I think there's like in gaming, there's like a famous like T pose for like modeling and animation setups or something, or maybe it's just memeing. As definitely like that's definitely like Apache's his shtick. He just loves having fun. Wow, that was actually kind of sketchy on where he was aiming. It almost looked like he was aiming like right at Emma's head on Apache's screen. But hey, if it works, it works.
You know this fellow?
It's T for Twitter.
You remember
Ah,
me, You've grown.
so he is creative. I was almost thinking it was like he was trying to spell like nut, and then like the other poets were just like disappearing off of the wall. Which I mean, I could see it go either way, but anyways, they're now making into the Arsenal Gear section, the late game, if you would. So, D-Lime's still with a fairly comfortable lead. However, there are still some things that can happen that can swing it either way.
You can't keep this up.
Arsenal Gear Gigenum, which is a room that I'm sure everybody loves going through, but hate having things happen in it. Which can involve either missing a gap cartwheel or a gap jump, if you would. Sometimes you can get an alert to go off and get shot repeatedly, get knocked over by guards. I think there's even a new strat I think you were also messing with in Jugenum Platonic, wasn't it?
The strat that's infinitely harder to pull off and only gives you frames.
Yeah, is this like the early alert one that you were trying out one time?
Yeah, basically you just take an alert as soon as possible in this room and then cartwheel into this guard. keep in mind, you've gotten an alert. He's most likely going to kick you. But if he doesn't kick you, you have to stand like in a specific spot so he doesn't. And then knock him down. When you go upstairs, you actually get an evasion. So every other guard in that room just comes downstairs to investigate, and you're free to go.
All right, so D-Lime's going for a punch cartwheel setup with the Tengu, which is actually a really nice way of controlling, knocking out that guard. While he makes the jump across the bridge, so he gets through just fine. Falling through that gap is very costly, especially if there's an alert that goes with it. I think it's definitely happened throughout the league, at least a few times. It's the one room, like I said again, you don't want to be caught in. So Apache's going to have to, I think, if I remember, I think he plays it safe.
Yeah, I believe
when
he goes
to
left. He goes left around that guard instead of just facing him directly. Loses about a few seconds.
See, but I don't know. I mean, but again, if Apache's kind of keeping his eye on what D-Limes is up to, he might go aggressive and go to the right. Which, like I said, there's a lot of things that can go wrong with it, but it's like I said. I mean, it's now or never at this point because coming up after this will be Tengu's 1 and 2.
Oh, he went directly for the guard. Yep, he did the punch.
Oh, here he goes. Punch.
Oh, he didn't even cartwheel through the guard.
Oh, dude, what? Oh man, this is definitely on the edge of my seat.
That's actually not bad. I think I remember him.
Okay, so that's
guard,
good.
then if you punch the guard, then bump into him, you'll get the alert. But as you're making the gap, he doesn't shoot. I think I remember him mentioning that. Was it last week? I think it was my race against PMN that he mentioned it. So yeah, that was definitely intentional. He did get a shot a few times afterwards.
Oh, he's
but as
playing the
long-
codec. Oh my god, I love this man. Hey, Platonic, you got any scissors?
Just
Because,
61.
yeah, I left mine behind. Oh, man. I mean, I don't know if he's doing that, just, knowing where he's at in the run. Not that I don't appreciate him, and I'm sure others in the chat for doing that. But, man, I don't know. That codec is just, it's just so amazing.
Oh yeah, we don't even have this audio because it lives ahead.
Well, you know what? I still give him credit for just doing it, even if it's, for memes. So while Apache is deflecting bullets, for suddenly a guy that picked up a sword for the first time in this run and can deflect bullets, I don't know, it's probably something to do with the nanomachines, but D-Limes went through Tengu 1, pretty much AKing his way through guards and doing a carefully timed punch kick through the door when you face up against it and then let go of the first person camera on the kick. It allows you to clip through the door, skip the rest of the encounter. While in Tengu 2, he stands in a relatively specific spot in the room, which is on the upper north section, and aiming what looks like on an angle for Tengu spawning in. And what this does is it allows guards to kind of move a certain way. I believe this was discovered and ran by Bestwick during a VE tournament that, again, was held back in the summer, where he actually did this setup where normally, I think, going up to it, it was more or less people would stay in the middle. So thinking, less movement, more shooting. But as it turns out, Bestwick's setup actually has degrees of better consistency when you actually get hits on Tengus coming in. Less likelihood they'll jump over the railing for iframes that will just allow them to pass through. And it's actually a really unique setup too. So I imagine Apache's going to go for the same thing here. Yep, so he's just going to take out the guard, move up on an angle, and just ever so carefully aim his crosshairs on the doorway.
Not the cleanest start.
Yeah, there was a few that got away, but oh, there was another.
I think the ones on the left might be bit.
Yeah, ideally you want to have as minimal Tengus jumping over as possible. while also being relatively close enough to that spot where you get as many kills per second as you can. This is actually not one of those sequences where it's like you're running against a timer, but rather there's a kill count where you have to defeat. I think it's like 48 Tengus.
Yep.
In order for it to end.
Limes just went for the fancy, more difficult race strat. Usually for race on VE, we'd kill the one at the middle, then the one left, then wait for the right one to jump in and kill him. But what he did was sort of a full game equivalent of boss survival strats, where we go for front first, then right, then the left one, and you can kill them all before they jump in. It's if done correctly, it can be approximately 1 second, sir, but it's very, very difficult.
What do you hope to hear?
You need to be
like-
almost perfect with your shots.
I mean, when it comes to the Rays and D-Limes, it's like his backyard. It's the one thing I think he loves doing the most. He's optimized it a lot on like higher difficulties on extreme European extreme. So it doesn't surprise me that he goes for stuff like this on VE. That's just kind of part of like how he likes to run like that encounter with Rays. So while Apache is striking a very fancy pose, definitely give him some style points for that. D-Limes is now going on the last fight of the game, which is going to be against Solidus. Oh, I'm sorry, what was that?
Fighting the ex-president, Federal Hall with blades.
Let's go.
Just casually. Yeah.
So we're going to be using the blade lethally. I almost slipped in the European extreme strats for a second. Of course I have it. But it's faster to do this lethally with the blade. You actually have the option to turn the blade around and hit on the non-lethal edge of it. But it is faster to just do it lethally. You knock him over twice while gaining distance away from him, so you bait out missiles. And you do this enough times to bait out phase 2, which D-Limes is going to play it safe, rather than going for either a parry or a stab. Okay, so here's the second stab. So that's what I think he would do. So that's time on D-Limes. So GG's to him. There's different ways of handling Solidus when he gets into phase 2. You can either go for double parries, you can block. I think BMN, often he'll do like these like quick evades where you like turn just out of the elbow charge. But then again, I don't know what he's going to do in the race coming up, and I'm the one who has to go up against him. But while I try to, forget about that for a moment, because, yeah, that race is definitely going to be tough. I'll just say that right now. But anyways, GG's to D-Limes. We'll see what Apache goes for with Solidus. I imagine we're going to see almost more of the same. I think he may go for parries during the charges. I don't know. He may just block. But either way, this is actually the one fight I like in this run with VE. Because not that it really makes it like less of a stressful fight, but I just love the parries. I remember seeing people do them, and I was like, "Wow, dude, that is so cool." And then, oh, he's on the right side. So the thing about getting him into phase 2 is like you want to be on the opposite side of the rooftop as far as possible before Solidus recovers going into phase 2. If you're too close to him, he'll zip further away, which is meant to gain distance away from Raiden.
I think in that instance, Solidus was like the center of the map, so I don't think it would have mattered whichever way he went. It would just be equal regardless. In that one.
And that's time on.
Oh
wait, what's he doing? Oh wait, he's going for a meme finish. It's gotta be. Okay, maybe not that kick to the face, but I don't know. Maybe he's definitely doing something.
All right, there's time.
There's time.
GG's both of them.
Oh my god.
Of course.
I don't know what he was trying to do there. I mean, I think maybe he was just trying to go out in style. I mean, it's kind of the it's kind of a thing with the Harrier fight, but yeah, GG's to both. Let's see, we have D-Limes on comms. Yo, what's up, D-Limes?
What the hell was that from Apache going to the edge again? Like, are you kidding me?
I don't know, man. I think he was just trying to go for a meme finish. Maybe he knew you were watching and just wanted to. I don't know. I honestly, I don't know.
We need like an edge emote with like a slash through it, like anti-edge. Like, come on. Like, there's no reason for that. Oh my
Oh,
god.
there he is. Maybe we can hear it from the man himself. Yo, what's up, Apache? GG's to both
What
of you
was
guys.
that? What was that? What was that?
I was just enjoying myself, man, having a good time.
You like the edge? You like the edge like that? You like to lose time and nearly fall off?
I literally ran to the edge and dropped off. Like, and but before I did that, I punched him and knocked him down. Like, I was just enjoying myself, man.
Oh my
Fucking
goodness.
dying over here.
It was for you, Joe. It was all for you. The scissors 61
Yeah.
thing.
Oh
Like,
my
it was
god,
all for
dude!
you, man.
My gut was right. I was like, dude, he's got to be memeing.
Yeah, I was like, right. I knew I was super far behind, and like, I knew I couldn't make it up. Like, probably when he did
Oh
swim
my
glitch, I
god.
was like, yeah, that'll be it now. Um,
You
Yeah,
know what?
I've certainly had worse runs of the game than that, and like I don't know, I just wanted to enjoy myself a bit at the end. It was a good race. I think I did okay for the first half or so. Everything,
Yeah.
everything up
Yeah.
to like Shell 1, I was fine.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, like, going into the plant, it was neck and neck for, I mean, Platonic. I don't know, like, when it started to veer off. I
Oh,
think it was maybe when they got into the core, but like, you guys were kind of on each other's heels for a while during bomb defusal.
Well,
I
it was
think
Olga that gave me
leaving Tanker, Apache was slightly ahead, and
mhm.
then as bomb disposal continued on, Lime slowly caught up, and then every room it was like small incremental time saves. I think until going into Shell One Core, maybe you were like one or two rooms apart at worst.
Mhm.
Harrier kind of stretched it a little bit, and then Swimblitz just kind of ended it at that point.
Yeah, I have 5+1 low damage, but that's just what it is. But I figured I got enough of a lead. I need to practice swim glitch in these situations, so I figured go for it. But I suck at tanker. The only reason why I lost tanker is because I got a bad RNG for left side Olga. But
What did you do?
it
Left
was
side failed loop or what?
left side failed loop. Yes,
Yeah, it's rough, man. It's
it
rough.
is. Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I know I memed and everything. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to destroy him, but I was obviously not going to win this race, man. Like,
No. No.
he's the
I mean,
best player.
I gotta
Well,
respect your honesty going out in style like that, and I just figured, man, he's got to be memeing.
Yeah, man, I was just having a good time, enjoying it.
But yeah,
no.
I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, it was definitely fun. Like this was a long time coming. We've wanted to race on the channel like this for forever, and it's really fitting that it's come in this kind of league format that we kind of generated, got the idea for. Very good
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't want to sound I don't want to sound big headed, but like this whole league came out of me and you racing each other really. Like, if we hadn't have been so competitive about this game at the start, like when we picked it up, I don't think it would have like it was like the domino effect leading to us having a very easy league now.
Yep. Yeah, and then the VE tournament that we had earlier in the year, and just all the excitement of VE, the runs, like it's a culmination of what this has become, and it's nice to be us head to head doing this, basically our own creation. It's wonderful.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
got
I mean, it
a
was.
sorry, Joe.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I was gonna just say, yeah, it was definitely a pleasure to co-commentate with Platonic again, and just watching you guys' race as I get ready to face the music with BMN next.
You could beat him.
You you can beat him. You can beat him if he loses 57 seconds on Vamp.
I
So
mean, you have something that he doesn't. Swimblitz.
I'll
you
hope for
do.
the best and try to
You
do
do.
my best, but it'll be a fun race either way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah, GG's to both of you guys, and then I'm just gonna dip so I can get ready.
thanks for commentating, dude. I'll be sure to watch it back.
Hey, anytime.
But
Yeah, what was up with that tanker? You always shit talk me about doing 3 spots, and then you went and did it.
Well, okay, so I was practicing at work today, and I got a decent run, but and then I failed photos. So I'm like, huh,
Oh,
you
just
know
got in
what?
your head.
It's in my head. I'm just gonna play it safe, whatever. But yeah, so
I think my free spot in that tanker was compared to a two spot was probably like a very minor time difference. I felt like that was one of the fastest free spots I've ever done.
Yeah, it was decent for both of you. Even your guard rushes. It was kind of awkward with the second guard for both of you, but like you still got before he went down.
Yeah, I had to do a reload after 2 shots on one of the guards, which was a bit
Yeah.
awkward, but
um,
it was relatively fast. It was good enough.
so any thoughts about my strut D?
He
Yeah.
dropped off
Oh
the
yeah.
rail earlier, right? Sort of caught a glimpse of it.
Hmm.
I noticed you do that, and I was wondering like, are you gonna deal with the guard now? Is he gonna run away? As soon as I saw him walk backwards, I was like, okay, that might just be equivalent. That might not be any time
Hmm.
at all.
Yeah, I did it today on a whim. It looked cool because that guard tried to kick me and he missed, but and
Yeah.
then I didn't get shot at all. If you movement is good, that always happens. So it's just kind of weird, but yeah, whatever.
I just wish there was a way to avoid going hanking down, but like going by the stairs is just slow.
I'm coming up to my score screen. This has a chance at a 102, but I don't know.
Yeah, I imagine it would have been.
Holy shit.
What'd you get?
Oh, nice.
Wow, with a missed Harrier?
See
Jeez.
how am I gonna beat that? Like, come on, people. The hell is that?
How? How did I get that? Like, okay, so I probably lost 12 on Harrier. I kerfuffled on a set of stairs. What else? Olga. Olga, that was probably worth at least 5 seconds. So that's like 20. That was a borderline world record run. So, jeez, that gives me a
Oh my
ton of
god.
confidence going into B-Man next week. So
Oh my
you watch
god.
out. You watch out, B-Man. I'm calling you out. Wow.
So I imagine Apache is going to be a 104, maybe a very low 104.
There'll be a high 104, right? There's 2 minutes difference in RTA, so it's
Sorry,
gonna be.
sorry. Yeah, a high 104, not 5.
But yeah, I'd say like a 104.34. But yeah, very surprising. I'll take that all day long. That's championship caliber run. I'll tell you that. But yeah, Apache, there's no way you're beating that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. 102.39 with a missed area.
Mhm. I didn't even think my swim glitch was okay.
I
It
think it
was
was
like
like
it was a
2.5.
Yeah, two
two
and
and
a
a
half
half
cycle.
cycle.
I
Yeah,
saw that.
yeah. So that means I could have got a 102 without, which would have been cool. But it's cool.
GG.
Exactly 2 minutes.
Exactly 2 minutes. That's funny.
Yeah, GG.
Oh,
I love competing in this. I love taking part. I love commentating and all that. It's been really good. We're in week 5. We've got a great game up next. I'm just happy to be here.
yep. So and we will have Plywood and Mayu on commentary for the third race. So me and your boy are just gonna sit back, relax, and watch the action. I think we deserve a break after this heated match. But we'll get you set for the next match and stay tuned.